So, as we were saying about the passport requirement, yeah, you need to have your passport ready. And we also talked about exemptions from passport requirements. I hope you got that right. So, if you selected one of the exemptions I've mentioned above on your diversity visa entry, you will be required to explain how you meet one of the three exemptions. And the exemptions apply only to individuals who are unable to obtain a passport. So if you selected an exemption because of a delay in obtaining a passport, whether or not that delay was within your control, you do not qualify for an exemption and you may not be eligible for a diversity visa. So you should consider not pursuing a DV application if you selected one of the exemptions on your DV entry and you do not in fact fall into one of the exempted categories. So as you may not be eligible for a diversity visa and any fee you pay for the visa application will not be refunded. So we also have this option of stateless individuals. In general, is a very rare situation. So I won't dwell so much on it. So you need to know about qualifying on the aspect of experience or job. The U.S. Department of Labor provides information on job duties, knowledge and skills, education and training, and other occupational characteristics on their website. So check the link on the description of this video. And on the ONET online databases, groups work experience into 5 job zones. While many occupations are listed, only 2 years of experience in certain specified occupation qualify an individual for a diversity visa. So you might wonder, how do you find the qualifying occupations on the Department of Labor website? So qualifying DV occupations are shown on the Department of Labor ONET databases. So follow the steps when you are on the ONET online to find out the occupation if your occupation may qualify for the diversity visa. So if you open on the ONET online database website and find occupation, navigate and select job family from the pull down, then browse by job family. For example, select architecture for and engineering and click go, then click on the link for your specified occupation. As an example, select aerospace engineers at the bottom of the summary report for the aerospace engineers. And under the job zone section, you will find a designated job zone, for example, zone 4, SVP range from 7.0 to 8.0. So this means using this example of aerospace engineering as a qualifying occupation. We've talked about passport requirement. I think I've mentioned about that. And it is important to remember that the selection does not guarantee you will receive a visa either. And in order to receive a DV or immigrant to migrate to United States, selectees must still meet the eligibility requirement under the US law. So, as I said, the fact that you'd be selected if you apply does not guarantee you will be receiving a visa, because some of you might have lied that they entered as married but they're not married, they entered a wrong passport number, or their country of origin is not eligible, and so many reasons. Maybe photo requirements were not met and such. So remember, selection does not guarantee you'll receive a visa. So in order to receive a DV to migrate to the United States, selectees must still meet all eligibility requirements under US law. Again, you should consider not pursuing a DV application if you do not meet qualifying education or work experience requirements explained above, or if you provided an invalid passport number with your entry, or selected an exemption for which you do not qualify. So such errors may render you ineligible for a diversity visa, and any fee you pay for the visa application will not be refunded. So what next after all that said and done? So the next thing is how to submit your immigrant visa and alien registration application. So for DV2020 program applicant, the principal applicant and all family members applying for diversity visa on the DV2020 program must complete the DS260 form, and also you will need to enter your diversity visa case number into the online DS260 form to access and update the information about yourself and your family that you included on your diversity visa entry. So if your family circumstances have changed after you entered the diversity visa program, for example, if you have gotten married or had a child, you will need to add your new family members to your case. So family member refers to spouse, maybe there's a new marriage, and or unmarried children who had not reached the age of 21 before you enter the DV program. Maybe you are adopted or any other situation you might be in. Or remember that when adding family members to your case, you will need to upload a document to provide your relationship to the family member being added. They have to be genuine. So remember to note that if you had a spouse or children prior to submitting your original entry, but you did not include them on your original entry form, such errors may render you as well as any of your family members ineligible for a diversity visa. So only include those who are truly your children or your spouses, be them adopted children or biological. There's a new marriage and such, but do not lie. If you lie, everyone will lose the chance, even the innocent one. You will be rendered ineligible for a DV visa. So if you listed a spouse or a child on your original entry who was not your spouse or child at the time of entry, such errors may render you, as well as any of your family members, ineligible for a diversity visa. So as indicated in the prior video, if your family circumstances have legitimately changed after submitting your original entry, you should add those family members, and all family members' applications will be reviewed. For more information, see on the description box. I will put the link to the DV instructions. Read them carefully and follow them to the letter. So please be aware that the Kentucky consular can only tell you if your form has been processed. KCC cannot tell you whether or not you or your family members are eligible for diversity visas. Only the consular officer who interviews you can make that decision. So after selection, you've submitted your DS260 form. How do you submit supporting documents? So after KCC received the process of the DS260 application form for you and your accompanying family members, you will receive instructions for how to submit required supporting documents. Your interview will not be scheduled until you submit scanned copies of all required supporting documents following the guidelines I will show you. So if you cannot obtain a particular document, send an explanation of why you cannot obtain the document as an attached in a PDF format or JPEG to KCCDV documents at state.government. So check the link also on the description. So with your case number in the subject line, you will bring the original documents to your interview with the consular officer. So it is strongly recommended that you begin the process early. The applicant and each family member who will accompany the applicant to the United States will need to submit scanned copies and any required translations of original documents or certified copies of the documents listed in the description from an appropriate office, authority, or issuing entity in your country.